he came up and he said, I hear you're a singer. And I said, yeah. And he said, are you any good? And this moment changed my life because I said, I'm okay. And he walked away. And the producer came back to me the next day and said, actually, that's not how it went. The producer was standing there and he looked at me and he goes, and I said, wait, why are you walking away? And he goes, because I'm not looking for okay. Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go. Welcome to the Ladies in Power podcast. My name is Meeka Casey.
I'm Sandeep Mahsa.
Dr. Soraya.
Gurvinder.
And today we are talking about dreams. And when we give up on a dream, how do we get going again? Have you ever given up on a dream and it just feels like, I don't want to try anymore, or I feel like just giving up and not bothering ever again. And of course, we must set more goals and have more dreams. And I'm wondering what gets you back into the game again?
I can start. I always start. I don't know. I
That's
just
fine.
feel like
That's
I
great.
should start. I had a big dream of making my own dental practice. And for 20 years, I rented a very small space on a second floor. And I had 3 chairs and I ran my practice that way because you don't have a lot of money when you start. You have a student loan. The bill's just building up and you're just trying to kind of keep your head above the water. People seem to think you become a doctor and you become a dentist and it's like cha-ching. It's far from there. You graduate with a huge loan and the first 10 years, all you can do is just pay the government and make sure you get out of that loan. And then there's your house and your kids. And anyways, but that was a dream. I had attended a course with some friends that talked about building your dream office, building an office that looks amazing, that people would like to come. Like a dental spa was the word that was being thrown around a lot. And I came home and I said to my mom and my husband, I really would like to buy a space and build my own dream dental office. And the first thing my mom said was like, are you crazy? You know, you're just getting
Thanks, Mom.
you're just starting to pay off all the loans so that you're kind of debt free. Why would you do that? Just kind of keep it small, keep your head up and just keep on doing this. And I talked to Alex, my husband, and he goes, absolutely not. Like, we are not spending like $1 million and buying a strata unit so that, spending that $1 million would be just to buy the shell.
Wow.
And then you got to borrow more money to plumb it. I mean, I didn't know what the term leasehold improvement meant. To me, it meant nothing, but I guess it means to plumb something, to put walls, to put the drywall, and then on top of that, you had to buy the equipment. So this would have been about a $3 million investment that we would have to make. So they're all like, hell no, we're not doing this. So there was a unit that I kept looking at and I kept looking at. It was at a perfect location. It was a 3-way street and I really wanted it. And every time I drove past it, I said, oh, I'm going to buy this unit. And one day I drive past it and it said, for sold, dental office coming soon. And one of my friends from Southridge, actually, a dentist from Southridge bought the unit. And I'm like, no, on my knees, there it goes. That was painful. So 2 years goes by and I go, well, there goes our chance. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. And kitty corner from the unit I wanted, another unit comes out that it's even better. So I'm like, no, I'm doing this. Like, I didn't tell my mom. I didn't ask anybody's permission. I went and talked to the builder and probably negotiated a really bad deal. I don't know. But there it was. And I put an offer on it, and I came up with the down payment. And then I said, okay, where do I get the rest of the money to buy this? So I went to the bank I usually deal with, and they said, no, they weren't going to pay. And I went to my mom, and she said, no, I just don't have the money. And I wasn't going to go to my husband. So oh my God. So I put the down payment. If I don't pay the rest, they're going to take it away from me. But where do I come up with the rest? And it's just when the universe inspires to make your dream come true. I met this man whose job it was to get money from banks based on how he presented it. So it wasn't that it was just the way I was presenting it to the bank that they said, no, you can't afford this. So I don't know how he presented it to the bank that I did manage to get the loan. And slowly we bought the unit and then paid that down a bit and then got a contractor. And I ended up building my dream office. And I think the reason is that the thought wouldn't let go. You know, you kind of say, your brain said, yes, no, you can't afford it. And your mom and your husband and everybody else said, no, you can't afford it. But something in your heart goes, no, you can, you must. You said you were going to do that. You're going to be sorry. And I said, worst comes to worst, I'll just work until I drop dead to pay for this. But it's just something that had to happen. And I love my new office. It's been 13 years now, and I built it exactly how I wanted it. So that was my story of a dream. Gave
And
it
it is
up.
gorgeous. I mean, Angel Care Dental is absolutely stunning. You
Thanks,
have
Meeka.
put so much love into the walls, the murals, the pieces from Italy, even the wallpaper in the bathroom has gold in it. It is extraordinary. It is so well laid out with angels everywhere and all the awards, and it is classy. It's like an art gallery in there. I really admire your office.
Thank you.
It really, I'm terrified of dentists. And when you go in there, you don't feel like you're in a dentist office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. It's very reflective of your creativity and your enjoyment of art. You've done a really beautiful job with it. We filmed our first episode there.
We
Yes,
did.
it's
Yeah,
stunning,
we
stunning,
did.
stunning.
Perfect setting for us.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
fun because we
Angel
really
Woods.
didn't know what we were doing that first
all.
episode, dragging everything into there. And I mean, I'm really proud of us for how much. And that was a dream. That was Meeka's dream.
Yeah.
You know, she had the vision and we just kind of said yes. So how do you feel about that?
I feel great. I feel wonderful. I was thinking about us last night as my head was hitting the pillow and how far we've come and how much gratitude I have for you and for you and for you. Like each one of us bring different elements to make this happen. Not just in personality and experience. We bring. I mean, everyone contributes in the way of providing the space or providing the meals or doing the technology, and so we all contribute in our own way to make this happen. And so it's a fair balance of contribution, and it's beautiful. I'm very proud of us and all of our experiences and what we've done. And yeah, congratulations on not giving up on that. And sometimes it's in our best interest to not understand how a lease works or how that we need to do the plumbing because we can get inundated with overwhelm and then not take that step. So that comment, ignorance is bliss, is really powerful. If your dream is big enough, you'll figure out the how, the tyranny of how. Don't get stuck in the how. And I think that's one of the big things about dreams is to not get stuck in the how, to have the courage to know what you want, dream so big, and not worry about the how, because the people will show up. It's often the who and not the how. Like the person that showed up to help you find the funds,
Yeah.
that knew exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And the same with the podcast. I didn't need to worry about how, the details of where are we going to film and what equipment do we need. And those things will all come together once the mission is really truly in the heart center, I believe. So I'm thrilled with where we are and what we're doing, and we're still learning, and that's the beauty for everyone. A dream coming to fruition doesn't mean that you've got it all figured out. It means that you're willing to take that step to make it happen. And often we get stuck on looking at the end result. And it truly is the journey, because what happens when we get to the end result? We think about, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
How often do we relish in the glory of all that we did and all we became to make something happen? We don't often stay there very long. We're looking at what's next. And that has been a great reflection on the goals, and to look back and say, okay, it's not necessarily about the failure or the giving up. It's about who I became in the process. What have I learned? What's going to shift to move forward in a bigger vision or a maybe smaller steps? Sometimes the big vision can be scary because we get stuck in the how. So if we focus on one step at a time with that big vision in the background or the foreground, however you want to say it, that can keep us on track.
Yeah, well said.
And I think one thing that it came out of it for me is that you can't blame anybody else for not achieving your dream. You know, people will say, my parents didn't support me, or I wanted to be a movie star, but nobody said you should. Or I think if a dream is big enough, if that desire is big enough, you actually don't care what anybody else will say, and you'll find your own path. Whether it's being a musician, and I keep saying a musician because my husband's dream was being a musician. I mean, it is poor guy. But somehow during the way he realized maybe musicians can't make a living in a sense that a secure living. Musicians' lives are very hard. These guys work very hard. They put a lot of hours for such little money that it just blows me away. Like when they do their gigs and they get paid like $200 for performing 4 hours. And I'm like, really? And then they have to split that between the band members. Like, it's to hit it big and to become Justin Bieber or someone like that is very rare. But he had a dream. And so he taught himself guitar. He taught himself piano. He became a dentist. So his day job kind of pays for him to eat and support a family. And then
Very
his
noble.
night job is like, I don't see my husband. Truly, every minute he's in his man cave playing his guitar. He plays all around town in different places, and he doesn't care if they pay him or not. He just loves music. So that was his passion. It was his dream, but he found a way to balance his life and his earnings with the passion of playing music. So I think if you have a dream that seems like impossible because for whatever reason you can't live and do the dream at the same time, then make it work some other way.
Yeah.
If that kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
Yes, very
Okay.
much so.
If
It's
that
so-
kind of
it's
makes
so
sense.
quiet.
I know.
What happened?
I think we're all
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, I don't mind as long as he brings home the bacon, he can play guitar all night long outside my window or yours.
goodness. My goodness. Okay, so this reminds me of the story of Rocky.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
the movie
yeah,
Rocky.
yeah.
So
With
Sylvester Stallone was a
yes.
starving artist.
Yes.
And truly starving artist, and following his dream, no backup plan. And he, in a nutshell, I'll do my best to get the facts right. He wrote a script, and he took the script to producers, and they loved his script. eventually, he knocked on a million doors and everyone said no. And finally, somebody said, yes, we love your script. We'd like you to come in and talk. So they went in and he said, but the condition is that I'm going to play the lead role. I'm going to play Rocky. And they were like, you're not going to play Rocky. You don't, no, we'll buy your script, but you don't get to play Rocky. Well, he took it away. So as the story goes, he was completely broke, him and his dog and his girlfriend at the time. And he got offered $100,000 for the script to not play in it. And he said no. And he walked away. Then he was offered something like $500,000 to not star. They were going to give him a small role in the script. And he said no. He walked away. At this point, he was completely broke. He had sold his dog. He had sold his dog.
That's desperate.
He had asked something like $100 and the guy said no. And I think they agreed something on $40 for the dog. He had sold his jewelry. He had sold everything. He had nothing.
Wow.
But he believed in his dream to be the lead role in this film. So this is just a beautiful story. Of course, they made the film. It became an international, global, iconic film, bestseller. He went back to the store where the guy bought his dog. And he found the guy who was walking his dog and he offered him $100 for his dog back. And he said, no, $1,000, no, $5,000, no, $10,000, no. I believe he paid $15,000 or $50,000 to get his dog back.
Oh my God.
And the guy that he bought his dog, that bought his dog from him and his dog are both in the movie. So he gave him a part. He got his dog back. I mean, it's just a song. It's a story of resilience and never giving up on your dream and being willing to go broke, fight for what you want. And you never know which way you're going to go. If it's really inside of you and you have a knowing, like I had the knowing with the cyst in my body to not cut out my ovaries. There's a knowing. If somebody doesn't have a knowing, then they need a backup plan. It's for sure. But I think there's a knowing that happens for some people to just never give up on that dream.
That's beautiful. I have never heard that story. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
It adds such an element. Now I feel like watching it. But that knowing is what was coming to me, is how could you be utterly broke but still turn down $500,000?
Oh, gosh.
I
Right?
couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Wow.
But
I
to
got
know, I
shivers.
know, like to have that deep of a knowing, I find that really, really inspiring, really inspiring. And I'm feeling a little inspired to share my bold dream, which I'm still kind of, as I'm listening to you, I'm formulating, like it's still something in formulation. Oh, where do I begin?
From the beginning.
Well, I was born. Okay, I'll share one dream, and I'm not going to say it. What was the title? What are we talking about? Like failing dreams
that you didn't materialize, but you went back to.
Okay, in a different way. Let me see if I can put this together. But I had a thought of connecting people. And I didn't realize that. I did realize that's what it was. It came to me when I once a year was getting my nails done for one special occasion, sitting in a nail bar and just watching all the women, and everyone's bored and no one's talking to each other. Yet you've got women from all walks of life, all backgrounds, doing something in common. And I had a thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a nail bar, but with a mission? And the mission would be connection. And so you might start, like, it's almost like that idea of a bar where everybody knows your name from Cheers.
Oh my
that song.
gosh, how fantastic.
You know, and so you'd walk in and maybe you have a book club because you're getting your nails done every 2 weeks. Most women see each other probably, you know. And so, oh my gosh, you guys, I actually did a full-on nail course about 7 years ago.
What?
Any of my friends listening right now are going to be like, what? She did what? At Blanche McDonald, I signed up and I'm a fully certified nail technician.
Whoa. Next episode, these nails will look different.
Let me be honest, though. I almost failed the artificial nails part. Like, literally almost failed it. But I got a 98% on my natural nails. Like,
98%.
98%.
Oh my gosh,
Still
so
a
she
nerd.
can help these things here.
Barely still. But anyway, point being, I was pursuing this dream because I was going to open a nail bar, had a name for it, and it was going to be about a meeting place
Hmm.
and connecting, because I love when people come together and they think they're really different, but in fact, there's so much in common.
Wow.
And yeah, exactly. We're an example of that.
So beautiful.
So true. So that is my dream. When I have two friends very different, or I see two people connecting, or I myself connect with someone and the walls come down. That is probably one of my all-time favorite things in life, to
Hmm.
see that wall come down and people say, "Oh wow, like wow, you too? Me too. Really?" So, however, that dream did not come to fruition. Because in 2020, we all know what happened at the end of
Yeah.
2019. I finished my course in 2019, and I was going to wait till it was actually my empty nest plan. So when the kids graduated, this was going to be my plan. I was going to, get the salon going. And then we
I didn't
hit
know.
COVID. And
Yeah.
so COVID happened. And of course, no one was, seeing each other. No one was all of that good, stuff. So that dream kind of squashed. But I realized it wasn't so much about having a nail bar, which I'd convinced myself had to be a nail bar. It didn't need to be a nail bar. It was about creating connection for people from all walks of life.
Mm.
So that is the dream I actually hold. And then lo and behold, we're doing this podcast.
Oh,
And
that's so exciting.
Yeah, it
Oh my
is.
gosh.
another part of this dream is again creating this connection at some sort of a retreat. Like I see a big retreat or a small retreat, it doesn't matter, but a place where people who don't have access can come and receive just care for whatever part of themselves needs to be looked after. And I'm thinking new moms, and I'm thinking, but elders, people that are lonely. So this keeps coming back to me. And then I have this dream of somehow being an inspirational speaker. But here's the kicker. I was like, why would anybody want to listen to me? What do I have to offer? And I'm kind of getting over it through the things like when you have this knowing, and you said you don't have to worry about the how, but being asked to be part of a podcast,
Mm.
I mean, I'm here.
You're a speaker.
I'm sharing words with more than my family.
And good words too.
And I'm
Beautiful
actually
words.
watching and listening to us. And I think to myself, God, I love this podcast. Oh my God. Oh yeah, it's the one I'm in. It's so good. But
Oh, wait, I'm in all of them.
yeah, I'm in all of them. Oh, really great to listen to.
I mean, all of that.
So I recognize that I don't quite feel like I have it fully firm, this dream of mine, but it's in progress. So now when I hear about this knowing and not just believing in yourself, I feel very inspired. And I think like the podcast showing up, and from that, taking the nail course and getting that far, I thought, you got partway there. That's a first for you. So let's see if you can actually execute the next idea that comes. And so I've actually, I've just launched an online platform for pre-loved South Asian fashion
What's the website?
called likenewonly.com.
Like
Um,
new only.
yes. And so that coming to fruition, also is about creating a community and bringing together people with a common vision. And so anyway, I don't really know that what am I trying to say? I've reached the dream, fulfilled the dream, but I'm definitely on the journey of a dream being fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
And listening here, I feel like it's okay not to know how all the puzzle pieces are going to come together. So I think even that has merit, and it's nice. I think I'll continue to share thoughts as they develop. This is a developing story in my brain of how this journey will continue. But I feel very inspired hearing Rocky's story, hearing your story, Mahsa, of not having all the financials in place, not having the support of your immediate loved ones who said, "Are you crazy?" All of that is so valuable for me to listen to right now. So thank you. And thank you for those two stories.
And I don't know if we listened to our podcast last week when Gurvinder shared that deep knowing inside of her. that she had when they told her she couldn't have children, and you shared that beautiful story with us. I mean, that's incredible. It's one thing financially to be told you can do this or not, but something related to your body, same as Mika's, that is related to your health, to your whole being, and having that deep knowing that, hey, my body is going to be okay. I'm still going to be a mom regarding what they say. It's incredible what, as human beings, we are able to do, manifest, bring to light if we just put our mind to it.
It is a mindset.
Yeah,
It is a
absolutely.
mindset. There's a saying of how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And that's true. And you might see it as so different, like, oh, it's easy to do with money or a business, but my body, I could never. And you'd be amazed at how you find that if you have the will in you to persevere, and if you have that drive, that capacity to stay focused on the outcome that you're after, whether it's finding the money, finding the space, plumbing the space, designing the space, despite all the odds going against you, your family and all the lack of support as it might have seemed at the time, you still persevered. And I would go on a limb, and I believe it's a strong limb, to suggest that should you ever be faced with something outside of business, you would persevere because
I
it is
hope
a
so.
character trait that you have. We all have it. It's a muscle that we must develop. And sorry for doing that right here. And just to think about that, and for
Mhm.
our audience to think about that, because if you can go back to a place in your life that you have persevered and you did not give up, there's a skill set in us that we get to draw on and lean on that skill set, pull that skill set, transfer that skill set into that new mission, that new dream, that new fear, that new failure, which is really just, failure is learning. If you don't learn, then it's
Mhm.
failure. If you take
Right.
a moment and you learn, then it's growth. It's free. Well, it's usually not free, but it's training. It's growth.
Yeah. That's a really valid point, and going back into your history of how you've done things and reminds you of how you can still apply that information to this current situation. And what you said just reminded me of, as I was about to launch this website, I'll be very honest and say there's definitely a fear of
Mm.
putting it out there and it not living up to standard and it not living up to people's expectations. Not that anybody has expectations because this is a very new product. I myself was hindering it by constantly finding something to fix, something to fix. I was probably driving my developer crazy with all the little things I'd constantly come up with. And at some point, well, bless the people in our lives, but somebody said, as long as it's like you're 80% there, and that 80% word just it
Oh.
it said something to me. It reminded me that when we were building our home, I remember calling my mom calling me and saying, "How did it go over the weekend? The trades were going to come. Did they get all the things done?" And I just burst out into tears and I was like, "It's never going to get finished. This house is never going to get done. No one ever shows up when they say they do. They never do the right work. They never do what they say. This is never going to get finished." And of course, her calm words, "It will get finished. You will move in. Everything will be okay." And I was like, she has no idea. Like, she's obviously out to lunch. She has no clue what's going on. But I was reminded that we did move in at the 80% mark. And
Mhm.
there was lots of things to be finished and it was very imperfect. And so I took that knowing and
Mm,
how much we love our home and how
mm,
much we've used our home and
Mhm.
all of it. But we had to take that leap of faith that yes, it will be finished. We just need to just move in and trust. So with the launch of the website, I had to do the same thing.
Mm.
I had to remind myself, and thank goodness for that experience to draw back on, that just launch. And I thought it was pretty darn close to perfect. And here I am. I put it out like neonly.com. If you have feedback, send me feedback. I'd love your feedback, 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 feedback. And guess what? The girl hasn't set up an email account. So the email that's been plastered all over the website for feedback, I find out was never set up. And I'm like,
How wonderful.
what?
Yeah, that's
So people probably,
That's fantastic for you.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great. So great. But not having a or the email set up, like it made me laugh. Like
Mhm.
I'm like, there you go, Miss Wannabe, or like recovering perfectionist. You say, you know,
recovering
recovering
perfectionist.
perfectionist. That's a coined term from someone, but um, there it was. Like, and then you know, there's a bunch of sticking points that have shown up, and that's okay because this is a 20% that
Yes.
I knew should be there, even though I was like, no, there won't be 20%, but there it is. And they're big. They're not little things that need fixing. There's a couple of big ones. One of getting an email established, and two of getting, so for onboarding, there's an issue popping up.
Mm.
But my point is that having the experience from my past, like you said, you build muscle memory. You remember that we did that time and it's okay. It's going to work out. And so that's where I'm in right now, that this is going to be fine. It's going to be okay. And
Yeah.
I will be very honest with, you know, whoever's following me, the room full of people that are following the account right now, that, hey, listen, I'm building this. I'm not, you know, I'm not techie. I'm not any of that, but I'm really enjoying the process. And here's some of the blips that have happened, and expect this in a business. So, you know, there's value in that. So I have to frame it in a way that I see the value as often as I can, rather than getting overwhelmed by all the things that aren't going right.
It's so
Wow.
beautiful what you've shared. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Oh, thank you
Sandy.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so
What was it
much.
And there's
again?
so
What
much
was the name?
value in what was the name?
Like me only.
Like
dot
you
com.
only.
only.
Like,
There's
Like
you
so
know.
much
you
value in being transparent about not being perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I find and I'll just share, it's a little bit of a side note, perfect doesn't exist, and those that are often untouchable.
Mm.
And it can be lonely in perfection because people can't relate. And when you're in an environment where you're willing to fail, you're willing to flop, you're willing to look messy, because the judgment is usually coming from ourselves. That
So
expectation is
true.
on ourselves. And it can be a safe environment for you can be, and think of how many people you're inspiring by being on that journey of there's some ebbs, there's some flows, there's some hiccups, it's just part of the process. And that gives other people such permission to go ahead in the mess. And I applaud you and I acknowledge you. And I think it's beautiful that you're doing that, because there are so many people out there that will relate to you not wanting to launch until it's perfect. And sometimes that's just not the right thing to do. So
Mm.
I'm really
Aw,
proud of
thank you
you.
so much.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that I've been able to come to this point.
Mhm.
And thank you so much. I
Mhm.
really feel that from you. And I also was struggling. This is another part of, I think, why I was not launching, was I feared how to promote it. Like, I can do everything behind the scenes, you know, learn the technology, learn the words, to work with a developer, learn that language. But then now, how do I promote this thing? How do I promote it? And I was like, it'll grow by itself. But the truth is, no. This is a fear. And they
Does
say a
it?
business, yeah. They say a business really reveals who you are and the areas in you that, you know, require some care. And the part about me was,
Elegantly said.
Yeah, I
Elegant.
know.
Very
I know.
elegantly said.
there's a part of me that was shying away from being the face of. But what's come to me is, and it's so beautifully come to me, that what I was dreading is actually now what I'm most looking forward to, which is posting little videos of myself, sharing the process of what's gone on after the launch.
Oh, wow.
And sharing that, hey guys, I know I've been asking for feedback every single time I write anything, but guess what? This happened, or I don't have an email. But just
Mm.
really wanting to share the process of what I'm going through as a 50 something, starting a business in a field I had no idea about.
Wow.
But I got this far, so I'm going to celebrate that. And if I get further than this, we'll continue to celebrate. But I realize that the story that I want to share is the imperfect one. And that is my gift to myself.
Mm.
And if it's a gift to others, that's a bonus. So that part of me now turns that fear and that kind of overwhelm into an excitement. like bursting because now I just get to be me. I don't have to be,
Oh,
I don't have
good.
to act,
So
I don't have to
good.
perform. I just get to show up and be me with all of my imperfections on full display for everyone to, enjoy. Like, enjoy that. Here's an imperfect human
That's so
being
lovely.
revealing herself. So that's part of the dream. So, all of that, it's all just unfolding. This dream is unfolding, and I don't know where exactly it's going to lead me, but I have a really good sense. Yeah,
You have a vision.
I definitely have
You
a
have a
vision.
vision of the outcome and the
Yes.
journey we don't necessarily want to control or get to control. As long as we know where we're going, it's like the GPS and you're going on the road and then it pops up and says, "We found a faster route." Hit X if you don't want to take it. Well, who doesn't want to take the faster route? So you take the faster
Well, I
route.
just want to know the way I know how to go.
Okay.
Don't show me
That's fair.
another.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
It's like having your North Star.
Yes, yes,
You know where the
exactly.
North Star is. And it's your guiding light. I think that's what we all carry inside of us. It's like this North Star. We know our essence. And the dreams, all of our dreams, I think, are part of that. Like we just know this inner North Star.
You guys remember the book Secret?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I met my husband.
Oh my God. The book Secret, if you haven't read it, it came out and it was a huge
On the verge.
phenomena. I got the book, I read the book, I watched the movie. And look, I'm not trying to poo-poo my husband. I know every session we're talking about poor Alex. Thank God he doesn't listen to me. But anyways, he listened to the same thing and he goes, "That's ridiculous. I've never heard such ridiculous thoughts in my life. You just put on a thought and it materializes. I'm a scientist, Mahsa. How can you even think like that? You're a scientist too." And he just kind of poo-pooed it and went away. And I went, okay, if it doesn't work, what do you got to lose? It didn't work. So 15 years ago, in the book, there's a checkbook of universe.
Right.
And it says to it, write yourself a check, how much you want to be worth or how much you want to make or how much you want to save or whatever it was. And at the time when you're struggling and you're, 4 million in debt, making anything is positive. But I remember sitting on the balcony with my sister and I said, "Go on, you write your number." And she put something like 100,000. I said, "Gigi, you can ask anything. Like it's the universe, right? Ask for 1 million." And she goes, "No, that's just being really greedy." I went, "Fine." And then I just put like a ridiculous number that I thought is going to work out. And I just plunked it on front of my fridge and I went about my life. 15 years later, and the amount that I wanted saved up to the penny is in my bank account. And it's not a lot, but it is what I asked for at the time. And every day I get so much pleasure bringing
Showing
my
Gigi.
husband. No, I feel bad for Gigi. I just kind of show the little thing to Alex and I go, I don't know how it happened. It wasn't like it was a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And maybe money wasn't your thing. Maybe you wanted health or wealth or a new business or the whole story wasn't about how much we managed to save up. It was to the penny, guys. I mean, it's kind of weird. And there is a book by Dr. Dreyer that talks about manifestation. And it goes, there is three ways of getting an ice cream. You go buy it.
Yeah.
You ask your kid or a friend to go buy it for you, or you literally manifest it by somehow elevating your energy so the universe listens to you and gives you what you asked for. I mean, there is volumes of books on that. And my little thing wasn't so exceptional. People have manifested empires like Jeff Bezos, and I don't know, I know if people don't like him, but Tesla. I mean, people have done incredible things. I just managed to put some money in my bank account, but the whole idea of it was incredible.
You master manifester, you. That's
Why?
incredible.
Why you say
Master
that?
manifester.
You are a master master manifester.
I love that.
I love it. But if we don't tell the universe what we want,
Right.
the universe just delivers whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the great things about The Secret. And I've read other books, and I've been with other meditation groups, and it's how we write it down.
Oh.
When you see yourself in that future position, you probably envisioned yourself with that number. You probably focused on it so many times, and not focused on it, you relished in it. Like
It was like a big.
you saw yourself having that, and you're like, yeah, I'm totally there. So seeing that future self of yours, and then the universe is like, okay, that's where she wants to go. So we will just do all of this. We will figure out our way. You don't have to do the work.
Yes,
You don't
she
have
does.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't have to go she doesn't have to figure out how the money is going to come.
But she has
She
to
has-
make an effort. She has to take
yeah,
action because
she-
to just wish for something
No.
and then it's going to come doesn't come.
100%.
There-
You have to put the work in. You have to keep
Yeah.
believing, and you have to make the great connections, and the universe is going to help you do that. Oh, you wanted this? He brought that gentleman into your world.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
I think when we direct the world, when we tell the universe what we want, the universe is like, I got your memo. I just received your text. I know what you want.
I love that.
I love
You know?
that.
I get what you want now.
And to that point, what the book was saying is that universe does not distinguish between what you do want
That's right.
and what you don't want.
That's right.
So Dr. Dreyer's words again, not mine. He was saying, if you look at a lamp and say, that's an ugly lamp, that's an ugly lamp, you will see that same lamp
Yes.
show up in your house over
Everywhere.
and over again.
Yeah.
Because what I don't want and what I do want. So if you say, God, I don't want to be sick, I don't
That's
want to
right.
be sick.
That's right.
Rather switch that around to I love or I enjoy health.
Yes,
I am.
exactly.
I am.
I am healthy.
I am.
It's
am
already
healthy.
happened.
Yeah.
I am wealthy.
Yeah.
I am love. I am light.
Mhm.
Just flip it over and use I am, because that's exactly what the universe understands. So if we go around saying, oh, I'm so sick, I'm so sick,
Yeah.
I'm so sick. Well,
Or
what do you-
I'm old. Don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
No.
Not allowed to do that or say that
No.
anymore.
Who said
No,
that?
I'm getting younger by the minute.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever been to any dream that you have?
I have one similar to you. Back in
Mhm.
2017, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do because my youngest was 5. And I went into body care.
Oh.
Yeah, I learned how I was certified in creating lotions and balms and lip gloss. And I really enjoyed it, but then EFT came into the world. And so I was debating. It was 2019, and I'm like, should I continue working on body care items? Because what I wanted to do was create an all natural body care items because I knew they worked. I was always tinkering and creating things for my children and things that worked, like just natural oils and waxes that absolutely worked.
Wow.
And when I created those, and I put these beautiful natural essential oils in, and when I placed it on the kids, if they had any a rash or whatever, everything just disappeared. So I was really, really enjoying this. And then EFT came into my world. And I was trying to do both. And I had all these butters and waxes and oils and aromatherapy in my house. And I still have it. And I don't use any of it.
We could be used as
Yeah,
test
yeah.
We'll
subjects.
take your donation.
Definitely. Trials right here.
Waste not, want not.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will absolutely share. And then EFT came into my world. And one of the reasons why I wanted to work on body care items is because I believed in the earth. I believe in the earth provides us with everything we need. And I've always been about, let's do something that's natural healing. And when EFT came, I realized that I wanted to make a bigger impact.
Mm.
I really, really wanted to make a bigger impact with fellow humans. And my dream of helping other heals began back in 2019. And I'm still going through it. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about how the body works and how I can be a better provider and a better healer. And I'm actually going to Toronto this weekend and doing something that I'm not comfortable with to promote my website. And it's getting pictures done and videos done and learning how to speak
Mm.
in front of a camera because it is not my forte. And I do not enjoy it.
Fooled us.
Yeah,
Yep.
you
Fooled us.
Yeah.
Change your story on that one, girlfriend. That is a story that needs to go out that window right there.
That is 100%.
Okay, can you please reframe that for us?
I am
Mm.
a marketer.
Great. And
I love being on camera.
great.
And I
And?
love speaking.
Yes.
I so enjoy speaking.
And
I enjoy being in front of the camera.
yes. And I am.
Loving it.
Yes.
I'm loving all of it. I'm loving the whole process.
You are a great speaker, Gurvinder. You
Thank
really
you.
are. You have a positive energy. It's very calming. And you are really, really good with people. You really are.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't second guess yourself. Yeah, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We all do, and we need to remind each other from
Yes,
time
we
to
do.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. Part of achieving a dream, I think, is to set aside the self-doubt and set aside,
Mm-hmm.
those stories we tell ourselves. Like I believe that I didn't have anything worthy of share that might inspire another person. And I'm learning that that's not true. That was just a story. I don't even know why I made that up.
Mhm.
I really don't. But I don't think I need to believe it anymore because any story I think is worth sharing
Amen.
if it's shared from the heart.
Mm.
Yeah, so I do think that. I have another really funny connection that I've just made. Oh my gosh. Years and years and years and years ago, a whole bunch of us friends, before we all had kids, went on a camping trip. Now, that is fully another podcast of that episode of us first time campers. But a question was asked in a circle, like just what's one thing, a dream that you have? And we all took a turn. And I don't know why I said this because I swear to you until that moment, I'd never even thought about it. But I said, before I die, I'd like to be in one commercial, like just one
Oh,
commercial.
that's funny.
It's so funny. And fast forward 30 years and about a year and a bit ago, and it did fall into my lap.
It's
Like
so
it
great.
did fall into my lap where I met with a photographer for just a charity shoot that she'd asked me to be part of. And from that, she said I should be with an agent, like I was easy to direct. And so there you have it. I am actually auditioning for commercials. But it's
That's
not, but it's not
crazy.
about the commercials. So let me tell you what I'm kind of making this connection about is every audition, I get about 2 or 3 a week. It's a self-tape. So you set up your camera, it's on selfie mode, and whatever the role is asking you to do, you do it. I'm by myself. Nobody watches me. I have the best time stepping into these very different roles. Like if you guys saw the stuff that I've submitted, you would not believe it's me. I don't even believe it's me. And I'm submitting them all the time. I haven't had one booking, but I'm not bothered about that because it's about the journey and the process.
Beautiful.
But more than that, as I'm starting to think about promoting the website and getting familiar with hearing myself, how do I look? How do I talk? I've realized that I've been exercising for it for the last year and a half by submitting these self tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're sitting there. Sometimes the audition has been, tell us about yourself for 1 minute. Talk about your passion for 1 minute. And it's a variety of different things. And so it's just me because no one else is going to see it other than some stranger casting person.
That's what you think.
That's what I
We've all seen it. We've all seen it.
but it's funny because I just assume it's going out to the cosmos. No one's ever going to see this for real. I really just let loose. So it's such a practice of just like flowing and being silly and goofy. And I recognize that the universe placed that in my path as a way to sharpen a tool that I need coming up for something else. What a connection. And I will get a booking too. I'm not saying
Of course
I'm not
you
gonna
will.
force
Oh
you
my
to get a booking,
God.
but it hasn't happened yet. And they say it takes about 100 auditions. So I'm cool with that. That when it happens, it happens. There's a deep knowing that it's going to happen.
Yes.
So good.
But I'm also recognizing that unbeknownst to me, it's the practice of speaking off the cuff
Mhm.
and showing myself to strangers and just going for it that has added so much value to this otherwise kind of shy lady. But anyway, I had to just share that because I was sitting here thinking about that and going, whoa, yeah, the universe, you've got some ways. You've got some ways of
right.
bringing
And-
things
and-
into our life when
So,
we...
so I mean, Meeka and Gurvinder were talking about different ends of this. Meeka was saying you have to put work into it, which I truly believe. And then Gurvinder was kind of saying, well, yeah, but not really. But your story,
you
it wasn't
absolutely do.
like,
You have to put work into
well,
it.
she didn't put work into it.
She's putting work into it right now.
So my work is, for my vision, I've said yes to the podcast. I show up
Yes.
here.
Yes,
And
yes. Okay.
my intent is service. So I know that we have an intention of connecting our listeners and viewers with our stories.
Okay.
We intend for them not to feel alone in what they're going through. They've got 4 voices, very different voices, letting them know you're not alone. So that is definitely, I've said yes to that with that intention. The auditions, and those self-tapes aren't necessarily easy because they're due with very quickly. The turnaround is really fast.
I do have a story to share.
Yeah. And, but yeah, no, you're right. There is work. I mean, you have to say yes. You have to
Yes.
recognize the universe's nudges as they come.
Yes.
And that's something I've gotten a lot better at, is recognizing that this person's come into your life, this opportunity's showing up. Do you recognize it as a nudge, as a gift from the universe? And are you going to say yes? And are you going to check if it's in alignment with that vision you have, that dream you have for yourself? So I've gotten better at that. Yeah.
Saying yes.
Saying yes.
Yes.
Saying
So that is a
yes.
bit of work there.
It's,
Yeah.
it's amazing you're in action. And
I'm in the unknown right now, like fully in the unknown. And
are you though? Are you in the unknown, or are you moving towards your outcome?
in the unknown of not knowing how it's going to happen.
Ah, yes.
Right? Like
yes.
I'm in the unknown of learning to let go of control, learning to let go of the calculating that could be happening. Okay, if I do this and this will happen and maybe this will
right.
help me. Just letting go of that and learning to let go. I can't say I've done it fully, but I'm learning to let go of and just trust that, like you said, the right person will show up. The opportunity will come. And so, yeah, it does, I think. And it's just the faith in that, but keeping the vision quite clear. And I'm not so stuck on a particular place for the, but just the concept of that vision for sure.
And I saw Jazz on Saturday night at the Diwali event, and it was because of her. It was because of the invite
Yes, that we
to
got
their
to
home
know each
that
other.
we got to know each other. And I was always looking, I'm like, I want to meet some great women. I want to meet some great women. And just because of the being invited to their house, sitting next to you, getting to know you, us exchanging numbers, and then you wanting to connect. And it was this one person's little itty bitty move or invite that connected the 4 of us.
And the funny thing is, Jazz wasn't really a good friend of yours.
No,
I think
we
it was
literally just
met.
Yeah.
For that
And
reason.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to bring it back to goals and dreams and not reaching them, and how we move through that.
Right.
And I shared a story from Rocky. I have my own. that I would
Yes,
like to
yes,
share.
Let's
please.
hear it.
Yes.
Because when I was a little girl and I wanted to be a model, my mom, because this is horrible. She didn't mean it, but she thought that because I was Polish, I would have fat legs and I would not be a successful model. And it's just a thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's just a
people
thought.
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
crazy thoughts,
Sure.
and it's nothing to Polish people or to my mom. It was just she was worried because my mom was a cover girl model. She was very successful as a model, and she had very slender legs, and she was just worried that my daughter's going to have this dream and then she's not going to be able to fulfill it. And that was, I think, her nurturing protection. In any case, I became a model, and I didn't love it, and I didn't hit the success that I wanted.
Mm,
And then but I didn't give up. So I transferred my skills from the modeling industry into the acting industry.
mm,
And from there, I was doing commercials and I made money, but I wasn't passionate. I was tired of just being a pretty face and a body. They were hiring a face and a body. And I thought, I have this passion, I have this brain, I have this experience in life. I want it to be utilized. So again, I transferred those skills into acting outside of commercials. And I went in for a small part, ended up with the leading role.
wow.
And the leading role was in a film that went nowhere. And so there was this time where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me. I suck. I'm not a great actress. The film flopped because of me and all the stories. And then I realized, no, it's not because of me. And even if it was, I'll get better. And I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And then I became in a film that won some awards in India, actually. And it did great. And then I was like, I want to sing. And I was on a film set with Jackie Chan and Jennifer Love Hewitt. And I was speaking with one of the producers, the choreographer, and somebody said, we're looking for a singer to do such and such. And someone said, oh, Meeka sings. And he came up and he said, I hear you're a singer. And I said, yeah. And he said, are you any good? And this moment changed my life because I said, I'm okay.
Mm,
And he walked away.
ah,
And the producer came back to me the next day and said, actually, that's not how it went. The producer was standing there and he looked at me and he goes, and I said, wait, what, why are you walking away? And he goes, because I'm not looking for okay.
ah.
Mm.
And I said, no, I'm a great singer. I'm an amazing singer. I'm a phenomenal singer. I've been singing my whole life. And he said, can you get me a demo in the next week? And I'm like, sure. I had no idea how I was going to get a demo. I was in Toronto. My father had a small studio in his basement in Montreal. So I went to Montreal and we recorded a demo on the weekend. And we got the demo to him, and it ended up getting me a producer who's a Juno Award-winning producer to make my record at BMG Records. And I never gave up.
Mhm.
I never quit on the dream until my producer, one of my songs was up for one of those Music Plus video or CDs. This is going way back 20 something years ago. A CD where they put a compilation of all the top like dance songs, and people would buy them. And my song was in the runnings to get chosen for this album. Unfortunately, my producer got hit by a car, ended up in the hospital, and eventually succumbed to injuries and a few other diagnoses and died. And that just crushed me. So I did give up on that dream of being a big singer. But that wasn't because of him. I actually went to New York City and pounded the pavement for a week and slept on strangers' couches. And I mean, I was hustling. My song, I pounded the pavement. I got my song into a nightclub that had over 1,000 people, and it was a very hot nightclub. And I learned about Madonna and how Madonna would go and she would make her way into these clubs and she would talk to the DJs and she would say, just play my song, just play my song. So that's what I did. I made my way to the DJ booth, up these stairs. There's a ladder. You can't get to the DJ without getting past the bouncer at the bottom of the ladder. There's a 2-story nightclub. It's huge. There's like 1,000 people dancing on, and then there's balconies all around. And it was New York City. I was by myself. I get to the DJ booth and I'm like, can you let me in? Here's my record. So he takes my record up. The DJ looks down at me. He puts his earphones on. He's got his CD one, and he's got his two record players, and he's listening. He's trying to mix. He didn't say yes or no. All of a sudden, maybe 15 minutes later, my song came on. I'm standing on the dance floor by myself. Tears are freaking rolling down my face. I'm just bawling. There's nobody that I know around to celebrate with. I slept on some strange guy's couch. I waited for 13 hours at the base of BMG to get up the elevator to meet this producer I had just done what everybody talks about doing. And that moment was worth all of it. And that was like, I made it.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go any
Absolutely.
further. I didn't need to finish the record. I just like, that was the moment. So you never know what it's going to look like. And I wanted to share that story to get to you just keep going, because you don't know how, like you were saying, how you're going to get there. Just keep going. And so it's just a part of my story that I thought was fitting for this episode, and I wanted to share it. So
The
thank you.
gem of a story.
And we would really like to hear that song.
Yes,
I
do you have
would. I would.
I do have that song.
Okay,
we're gonna dance to it after this podcast.
A small snippet of
We
it.
can play it. I'll put a link in the podcast too.
that is
Do. Maybe 2025 was the year it was supposed to go worldwide.
Yes, really? How cool would that be? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is a conversation that was meant to have launched.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
There you
We were
go.
listening to some old 90s rap yesterday. Oh my God.
We were listening to Cold Stone Loke.
Tone Loc.
I'm getting younger and younger every minute. Oh, gosh. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for letting me squeeze that in.
No,
We're a little
it's
over
great.
time today.
Wonderful story.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well worth squeezing in.
And
On that
note,
thanks for listening, and
We'll
see you next time. The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.